Welcome to Ghost Stories, hosted by LocalMed, where we share stories of some of the remarkable friends in dentistry we've had the opportunity to meet, partner with, and serve.
Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa Vitaliano and I am LocalMed Strategic Partnership Manager. I am here with everyone's favorite goat, G.O.S.T, Ghost the Goat. As you may recall, G.O.S.T stands for Get Online Scheduling Today, and we are here doing another chapter of Ghost Stories. In this chapter of Ghost Stories, we actually have a dentist who really puts heart and soul into everything she does, Dr. Krysta Manning. Hi Krysta, how are you today?
Hey Vanessa, I'm good. Ghost, how are you?
He's
good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, rocking the derby hat.
Yeah, so he is wearing his derby gear, despite he looks a little bit more like a cowboy today. But Krysta is actually in Louisville. And you even recently had some specials for the derby, because the derby was just a couple of weeks ago. That was a big hit at your office. Is that correct?
Yes. So we did a pre-derby Botox special where I actually got on our Facebook page and did a Facebook Live where I gave myself Botox. So that was kind of fun. It went over really well. So over 1,000 people watched me give myself Botox, which is a little awkward, but you know, it worked.
Yeah.
Good campaign. We brought in several patients that way, so it was fun.
And were those local patients, or were they ones who actually were coming in for the derby?
Local.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we brought in anybody new. Just kind of local folks that had been watching our page and were like, oh, wait, you do that too? I'll come on in. And I think like half of them we kept as dental patients too.
Oh, well, that works out. And then everyone was ready for the derby and looking good.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know how well you remember this story, but a couple of months ago we had met in Jamaica, but we kind of indirectly met almost a year ago when you were chatting with my colleague Joe about, I think it was about how you found out about LocalMed. Is that how the conversation came up? So I don't know if you want to tell a little bit about that, but it actually ended up being a pretty fun situation where that story happened, and then we ended up meeting in Jamaica.
Yeah, so I had my best friend from college and from dental school, Emily Harding. She owns a dental practice called Ivy Dental up in Charlottesville, and she said to me when I was kind of going through the practice stuff, she said, if you do anything, get LocalMed. I was like, okay. And Emily is literally the most frugal person I've ever met in my life. Like when we lived together, she used to wash out Ziploc baggies and reuse them, which, you know.
To each their own.
Frugal. So if she says something is worth spending extra money on, it is worth spending extra money on. So I called and started setting up LocalMed, and I was talking to Joe, and they were going through like their demo. And Emily is all over the demo stuff. Like she's a poster child for LocalMed. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's Emily. She's my best friend. So I sent him a picture of Emily and I from college. And we were all painted up for bid day for our sorority. We were Chi Omegas. And I sent him that picture. And we started talking about how there was a Chi Omega in the office. And it was you. So
yes. Which, by the way, for anyone watching this, it's funny because we're in the Chicago office here. We also have a Baton Rouge location. But in their Chicago office last summer, is I think when this happened, we only had like 6 people in the office. So for there to be a Chi Omega in the office, and that was a big thing for, you know, how small we were at the time. And so, it was so funny because I remember him showing me that picture. Didn't necessarily realize that was you when we were in Jamaica until we were talking more. And you mentioned the story. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm that Chi Omega. I was that person that Joe showed the photo to. So it was not a small world, but kind of a small world situation, if that makes sense. But so go Chi-O. Yeah, sorority sisters. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of a fun little story. So I know you do a lot with your practice. And how long has your practice been around for now?
We opened in late November.
Oh, I thought it was open longer than that. Wow.
So we are not even a year yet.
Wow, that's exciting. So with your practice and with opening that, what's kind of made your practice unique compared to other dental offices?
I think the big thing that sets my practice apart is the team. So we have our core values that we've had laid out from the very beginning, and everybody on the team embodies those values. So the big things that we focus on are innovation. So we have a lot of technology in our office. We've got a CEREC, and we do, same-day crowns and digital impressions, and we work really closely with a local lab to make sure everything is done digitally. We're also eco-friendly, which ties in with the whole digital thing, because we create as little waste as possible. We use a lot of recycled materials. I have a waterless vacuum unit in the office. We have recycled glass countertops, and we use like sustainable building practices.
That's amazing.
In that. And that draws in a lot of people. Another thing that we do, we look at the materials that we use. So we are mercury, metal, and BPA free in our office. And that pulls in another crowd as well. And we have fluoride free options and things like that. Even though I love fluoride and see the value in it, I recognize that people are uncomfortable with it, and I'm cool with that too. So the next thing that we talk about a lot is transparency. Okay. So with our office, if you get on our Facebook page, we do a lot of kind of behind the scenes stuff on our Facebook and Instagram. And we also are super transparent with money. Okay. And I think that's somewhere that, like, if you read through reviews on other offices, that's where you'll see like people getting upset.
Yeah.
So we make sure that we also use Yappy in our office, so we're paperless. And we go into the treatment room before we ever touch a patient. We go over their treatment plan. So if they came in for a cleaning that day and their insurance only covers 80%, we sit down and we talk to them about what that means and what we can do for them. So they sign before we ever do anything that's going to cost them money. And people are wowed by that every single time. So kindness is another big thing. So my big thing is you treat, even if somebody's coming in and they are a pushy salesman and they are rude, or we had a particular company call my front desk 11 times trying to get us to sign up for something. And our big thing is, no matter what, under any circumstances, we are kind to the people that walk into our office or that call us on the phone. They are always right. So that's some of the stuff that, like, my team embodies all of those principles, and they are the driving force behind our office. No doubt. They're definitely what sets us apart.
Yeah. And having a good team can make all the difference and really make you enjoy what you do too. I mean, you spend a lot of time with your team, and having people who are there to kind of back you up in what you do and are on the same path as you and have the same goals. It's a great feeling, I'm sure, to go to work every day.
It definitely is. We have fun all the time, and we work hard. And another thing that we do amongst each other is we talk about our mistakes openly and often. I think it's really important to create a culture where it's okay to make a mistake. Mm-hmm. It's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to do better.
Yeah.
So I think that's where ethics kind of gets lost sometimes, as people are afraid to say, I made this big mistake.
Yeah.
I left the cord in, that kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, let's admit what we did and let's go back and we'll fix it now.
Yeah. And learn from it too. I mean, I think, at least for myself personally, I can speak, but you learn from the mistakes you make, and you hope that other people then learn from their mistakes, so then they don't do it again. But that's, to me, when I've made certain mistakes, that's become where I've really learned and grow. Once you accept them, like, okay, this happened, what can I do moving forward to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Exactly. So, and every time we make a mistake, it usually triggers a new protocol in our office.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't a bad thing.
Cool. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
So now we do little things like we, and this should be done anyway, but we pulp test every tooth before we start prepping for a crown.
Yeah.
And it's had to stop and have to send patients out for root canals a couple of times, but at least we didn't get in there and figure it out after the fact. So just little things like that we make sure that we do in advance for each patient. But
now for getting new patients, I know you had mentioned you've done the Derby special with Botox, but what are other ways, since your practice has only been around for a couple of months now, what are some ways that you've engaged patients to get new patients and even keeping the patients you already have in the office to keep coming back into the office?
Yeah, so we're pretty lucky. So like all of our November patients came back in May. And so far all of our December patients are coming back.
That's exciting.
So that's awesome to have that kind of a retention rate. But our marketing is we do a lot of ground marketing.
Okay.
So like I wrote a personal letter that we put in the mailboxes. You know how mailboxes have that upper slot and then they have the lower slot?
Yes.
So I wrote a personal letter to, there's a very large affluent neighborhood right next to my office. And I wrote a letter about why I became a dentist and what makes our practice different and welcoming them to come in. And we found that brought in a lot of patients. We went to local businesses and handed out invitations to our grand opening. And we're just constantly out in the community. I think that's been huge for us. Another thing, Facebook marketing. Nobody in my area is doing Facebook. So
really?
So the bar is real low. So anything at all, people think it's awesome. So we've gotten a lot of patients from Facebook, and now we've just started. I don't know why I didn't do this before. We just started a Instagram.
Oh, okay.
So I've done personal Instagram for a long time, and when I'm on social media, that's where I'm hanging out, is on Instagram. Facebook got too cluttered for me, so I don't spend a lot of time personally on Facebook anymore. But yeah, we brought in several patients from Instagram, and it helps that our office is pretty. And it's been described as it got described as an Instagrammable dental office enough times that we were like, okay, it's time to have an Instagram. So social media has been huge for us. We did a mailer.
Okay.
Flop.
Yeah.
It was a big flop, real expensive, and just didn't push the needle. But word of mouth referral has been number one for us. It's just having people tell their friends.
Yeah.
So we do a drawing every month. And we've been partnering with local businesses to do the drawing. So we did like a salon package this past month and just different things to partner with people in the community as well to get the word out about their businesses and kind of pass along good vibes that way.
Yeah. That's good. And it's interesting too, because you kind of have to do what's going to be best for your practice when it comes to marketing, because what works in one area isn't necessarily going to work in another area. And so it's good to find that, you're kind of getting this rhythm of what's really working for your practice and what your demographic is in your area. So for when you initially were looking to incorporate online scheduling for your practice, I know Dr. Harding basically brought it up to you, but was that something that you were actively looking for as well? Like, were you wanting online scheduling? Were you open to it? Were you, what was your thoughts?
But to be honest, when I got LocalMed, I was in that stage of the game where you don't know what you don't know yet. So I went with the recommendation from Emily and went ahead and got that started. And that's been huge for our practice. Because, people go home and they're like, oh, I need to schedule a dental appointment, but they're closed. And then they look up, and they see, a schedule now button or our book now button on Facebook or now on Instagram. We've had several book through Instagram. So that's huge for practice growth, is just being able to get patients in through LocalMed. And we're only open 3 days a week. So during the other days, what I've been doing is I have the phones forwarded to my personal cell phone. If I'm at home, I have my practice management software set up. But if I'm not at home, I can get on LocalMed on my phone or on my computer if I'm at a coffee shop, and I book the patients on LocalMed just to get them on the schedule and get them in. So that's been amazing. And then my team will be like out at an event talking to somebody, and they'll be like talking about our office, and somebody will say, "Oh, I should schedule an appointment," and they'll whip out their cell phone and be like, "Let's get you on the schedule."
Oh, that is such a good idea. Yeah.
So they've been awesome about that. They're really out in the community, and they're really telling people about us, and LocalMed helps them get people from saying, "Oh, that sounds interesting," to actually being on our schedule.
Right.
And that's
Yeah, no, it's definitely making it a lot easier for me to be able to make that appointment because, I mean, I can speak for myself, I guess, here as well, is I've been hanging out with people and they'll mention, oh, like, you should go here, you should book this. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's been a great conversation. But once that conversation's over, I forget about it and I move on with my life. Exactly. And so it's great that, when they're in that emotional state, if you want to say, where they're still excited, yes, let's book an appointment, that they're able to capture it right then and there.
And I really love the Instagram platform because they're kind of able to get on there and be like, look how pretty our office is.
You do have a very beautiful office, I must say.
Thank you. And then they just click right from there and get them on the schedule. So it's super, super easy.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you've had good success so far with that.
Yeah, no complaints. I think we were talking the other day. I called in because I'm in Anissa Holmes's boot camp right now, and one of the things that we're trying to do is cut our monthly expenses. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of looking at the review service that I was using, and I know you guys have a review service.
Yes.
Called in, and I was like, kind of thinking about price comparison and all that, and the person that I was talking to was like, "Can I ask you why you're switching?" And I was like, honestly, this company didn't do anything wrong. They did just fine. They're taking care of the reviews like they're supposed to, but they didn't wow me. And when it comes to the online scheduling piece, you guys have wowed me. So it's
that's exciting to hear.
Yeah, I'm going to move over my review platform to you all as well, just because I know you do good work, and it's nice to consolidate, and I'm saving just a little bit of money there in that transition, and I get to work with you guys again, and that's awesome.
Well, we appreciate you being a client of ours, but you can just admit that it's because we have a goat. That's really why you do that with us, right? It's all because of G.O.S.T.
He gets a good bonus at the end of the year, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe we'll get his beard trimmed a little bit then too. Put it towards that budget. But some new clothes, fill out his closet a little bit more.
Nice. A real derby hat, maybe a serious suit.
He does. He needs a real derby hat. Maybe we should go to the derby next year. We'll come visit you at your office. We'll go to the derby.
That'd be great. You guys are welcome. Come on down.
Maybe try a little bit of Botox too. Maybe we can give G.O.S.T some Botox. Maybe we can give him a couple of pricks.
I think he's looking pretty good. I don't see a wrinkle.
Yeah, skin's pretty tight still. So. Thank you for chatting with us today, Krysta. If anyone wants to find out more about your practice, more about you, get in contact with you, whatever it may be, how do they find you?
There's a few different places. Our website is solsticelouisville.com. On Instagram, we're at solstice.dental, and on Facebook, we're at Solstice Dental. Okay. So, yeah.
Easy enough.
We are the Solstice Dental that is not an insurance company.
Thank you for clarifying that your clients aren't getting Botox at a dental insurance company.
Yeah. Poorly rated dental insurance company.
Oh, no. That's too funny. And so obviously anyone who's watching this, feel free to get in contact with LocalMed via Facebook, or you can also go to our website, localmed.com/dentist. Once again, Krysta, thank you so much for participating in Ghost Stories today. We appreciated speaking with you. And for everyone else, we'll see you next time in the next chapter of Ghost Stories.
Have a good one.